I remind people, oftentimes, your parents, your people, your mentors don't want you to succeed beyond your wildest freaking dreams. They just want you to do good so they don't have to worry about you. Okay. How have you been?
I've been good.
Busy girl?
I've been busy. I feel like today was not as hectic as filming days often are.
Yeah.
I feel like I was ahead on work a little bit,
Nice.
but
Mine was still hectic. It wasn't as bad though.
really?
Yeah.
What were you
wasn't
doing
as
this
bad.
morning?
Coaching.
Nice.
Coaching, dealing with my sons, my new son.
Oh, talk about your new son.
I should have. No, there's no way I would bring it. Only
No
if
way.
Mitchell was like with me and I could give him something off.
Yeah.
I got a new son. His name's Hodor, and he's an English bulldog, and he's so cute.
He's
literally
cute.
so
He's
cute.
tiny.
He's so
gray.
tiny. Yeah, he's
or
the
is it
best.
called light blue technically? I don't know what
No idea.
his code is. I feel
Gray
like
is
I've heard
good enough.
people
Yeah.
call it light blue, but it looks good.
Yeah,
But
everyone's
he's-
like, "Oh, you got a blue one?" I'm like, "Yeah."
He looks great.
I'm like, "That is
But
a
he's
really big
tiny.
stretch." You know,
Your nails are light blue.
These are light blue.
He does not look like
These
that.
are nice.
And they look great. Yeah.
I told Mitchell though last night, I was like, I should have done something red, a little thing, and I would have had red, white, and blue. But it's okay.
You could just get like a nail sticker. Just
Yeah,
put, like, a little
red
star on
But
there.
I felt like that might be weird. I don't know.
For the 4th,
Either way.
I don't think anyone would question it.
Okay, so-
Post the 4th, maybe.
Yeah. Then they're like, okay, yeah, no, I like them though. So that's the biggest thing for me. That's
Nice.
new. Obviously, went to the beach. I love the beach.
I'm
It's
so
been awesome.
jealous. Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
It was beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But dude, actually on one of the days it was raining, but it was so warm and it was just lightly drizzling and the water was so warm. And so we just sat in the ocean in like still water with just like rain falling on us.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That sounds so peaceful.
It was amazing. I was like, wow.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. What
And you
about
went to
you?
Destin,
Oh.
and then your dad made shirts that said Destination.
He said, okay, he made a group shirts for all of us. Yeah, Destination 2025.
What a dad move.
I know. Mitchell literally wore his inside out because he was like, I just don't know if I can wear this.
That's hilarious. Wow. He
We
couldn't
all
do it.
wore them on the way in.
Okay.
But then it was like every gas station stop.
You're like,
We're like
"It's
coming out and like
Florida."
I see everyone reading my shirt. Like
Oh
everyone reading
my
my shirt. And I was like,
God.
yeah, but whatever.
That's so
Yeah,
awkward.
it was a little like, because not like little kids wearing matching shirts. Like we're adults.
Yeah, that's
But it was
fair.
awesome. But it
That's
was
fair.
funny.
Nice.
He said that it was, he had a couple beers when he bought those shirts. So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like your dad.
What about you? What's new with you? What's been going on?
Matthew's finally done with his
Thank
course.
goodness.
So that's amazing. And he took his test and he passed it, which was really big because it's like the national test. And if he didn't pass it, like you can take it again, but it would have had to be like post our trip, like a month later. So we're all done with that. And then, I have a gross story.
Oh, tell me your gross story.
So I was thinking about this on the way over here and I was like, you're going to be so grossed out by
no.
this. So
Oh, no.
last night, Matthew was doing yard work outside and we have like those 5 pine trees or evergreens in the back.
Yeah.
And they're like our pride and joy. We don't care about anything else in the backyard except for those trees. Like he literally pulled out all of the other flowers yesterday because we were like, we don't care about them.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
ugly. Like we'll plant new ones. But we love the trees. And so he was working out there. And then in the evening he called me and he was like, dude, you need to like come check this out. And I was
Did
like,
he actually say dude?
Yeah, he goes like dude all the time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if he actually did it in that context, but like
He
it
probably
would be
did.
likely that he did. Babe. Yeah, he would also call me babe.
Yeah.
But he calls me out, and so we go over, and he's like pointing to these like pine cones on the tree, and I was like, "What?" And
Yeah.
then he was like, "Look closer,"
No.
and the pine cones are moving, and they're not actually pine cones.
What was it? Tell me.
There's tiny worms, hundreds and hundreds of them in our trees, feeding off of our trees. And when you look closer, they're like killing our freaking trees that we're obsessed with.
Oh, like maggots? Like what?
Kind of. He said that they were just
Oh.
some sort of like tree feeding worm or tree eating worm.
How are you going to get rid of them?
So he was like, we have to pluck them off. And I was like, all right, well, you do that. So
All right, I'll go make dinner.
and so he starts plucking off, and then he comes in again, and he was like, I need tongs or something. It's disgusting. It was so gross pulling them off.
Oh.
And so we both were out there for like an hour.
Did you get them all?
With tongs, plucking them off. We got hundreds.
Okay,
And
did you
then-
take pictures? Like,
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I have
need
a
to
bucket
see.
of them like moving. It's so
How
gross.
big are we talking? Like little or like
The biggest ones could have been like
Oh.
that big, and then smaller ones were like that. But they literally look like little pine cones. And then you see the little worm crawling out. It was so
Dude,
gross. So
that's
anyway,
disgusting.
we got most of them. I think I have to do a second round today, and Matthew's at work, so I have to do
Yeah.
it solo.
Yeah, that's super nasty,
It's
dude.
so gross. But I was like, how do we get rid of them? So we literally poured bleach on them in the bucket and then like left them. Because Matthew was like, they'll just be in the bucket. And I was like, no.
They
Put
need
the
it.
bleach.
Yeah, okay, all right. You
Yeah.
got it done.
I don't know. I was like,
Burn
I don't
them?
know how to kill them.
Yeah.
But I feel like bleach is
Get it over
probably
quick.
a good call. Yeah. And in the morning, like some of them had still tried to crawl out of the bucket.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So gross. So anyway,
you took care
that's
of
my
it.
story.
That is super disgusting,
I'm
dude.
now an exterminator. So.
Wow. That grosses me out.
Isn't that
so much.
disgusting?
That really grosses me out.
Yeah. I do
Yeah,
not. So
bugs.
check your evergreen.
Honestly, I don't have any in my yard. I have like one. I have one tree that's actually green. And yesterday, Mitchell literally was like, I want to cut that thing down. I was like, you want to cut down every tree? He like,
Why?
I know. I literally said that. I was like, why? That one is so pretty every fall. And he's like, all their leaves get everywhere, all over the yard. I'm like, there's like almost no leaf. Like, it's not a big tree.
Right.
And he's like, no, it's a total nuisance. And I'm like, he used the word nuisance. And I was like,
That's
but he, to be
hilarious.
fair, he takes care of the pool and the hot tub.
That's
So,
yeah.
but still, I see it's not that bad.
yeah.
I've taken care of it.
And
but-
trees are like amazing.
yeah,
We
and they're
want
so
trees
pretty.
everywhere.
And yeah, he wants them all gone. So,
Wow.
so yeah, okay.
Had to put your foot down. Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Yep. All right, good recap. All right, so let me intro us. So I'm Izzy.
I'm Maggie.
And this is the Long Game Podcast where we talk all things faith, fitness, and relationships. Today, we're going to be talking more relationship type situation. The topic is being misunderstood, times of our life when we've been misunderstood, and like kind of how to work through that / our experiences in that, and kind of where we've grown in that. I was looking over this last night, and I was like, I felt like this was a good topic.
I think so too. I was looking over the outline and I think it's just so applicable.
Yeah.
And it's a universal experience
Yeah.
of being misunderstood.
Yes.
And also, how can we be better
At
understanding?
understanding.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, the first question is, have you ever felt deeply misunderstood by someone close to you? What happened?
I was trying to think of like a particular experience. I think there's definitely been times, especially when I was younger. I think that being a very quiet child growing up, it's hard to
Yeah.
express yourself. So when
Yeah.
you're not able to express yourself, like you're very easily misunderstood.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that there was a particular time in my childhood, but I feel like I wasn't able to express myself fully, and so I
Yeah.
didn't feel understood growing up. But
Do you feel like that was all of your siblings? Or do you feel like more so you?
I don't know about their experience like being understood, but I know we were all quiet growing up. Like,
Yeah, that's
we were
true.
just all very shy. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like that would
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyone in particular that you felt misunderstood by, you're like, no, not really. Just like overall.
Just overall. Yeah, and not even like not to my family in particular either. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, just
Yeah.
as a whole.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking about that. I didn't like have any particular moment at first, and then as I was going deeper, I was like, "Oh, I got a lot of, I got a lot of those." I think ultimately, once we started getting older, I felt because I was like, now that it doesn't land with me as much because I feel like removed from even like the desire of like I really want to be understood.
Yeah.
but that used to be a thing that I would tell you all the time.
Yeah, I remember
I was like,
that.
dude, I feel so misunderstood. I just want to be understood so badly.
Yeah.
And I felt like you were literally the only person in the world who understood me, and it meant so much to me. That was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, I was like remembering everything, and I was like, I really think a lot of it came from our friend group and like older brothers and stuff like that. And like just being judged and saying things, and it's not to talk ill about them, but just like things like that happen. They actually didn't get what was going on. And I think that definitely shaped me, made me very afraid of being misunderstood.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I was afraid of that for
I can
a
see
long
that.
time. Yeah.
I think I also had, like, to piggyback off of like friend groups and that sort of thing, I had such a deep desire to like fit in, and it's just like feeling misunderstood in that, because I was like this shy, awkward little girl. And so that like really resonated when you talked about friend groups.
Okay, wait, expand on fit in. What does that mean?
I think
to you, and what did it mean to you?
I think back then it really meant like being one of the cool kids, right?
Yeah,
just like feeling like I was almost part of like the leading group who was like organizing things.
Yeah.
And like there's the cool kids in the group.
There's the cool kids.
I was not one of them.
You're the cool kid now.
Recognize that I am. Yeah. Yeah, but I think back then I knew that I wasn't, but you obviously want to be.
Yeah.
And I think that I watched some of my siblings fit into that, or like you fit into that, and like you want to, like I wanted to be like that.
Yeah, and have that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because I hear a lot of my students, some of my younger girls, like the girls that are just entering high school, talk about this, and I'm very curious, like what that
like talk
means
about
to
fitting
them.
in.
Yeah, because I also feel like I lived on the extreme of like I also knew I was different. And I also loved that. And it was like, yeah, I don't fit in. I am myself. I lived in the extreme of like leaning into that and also being like, but understand me. And like, I think I was kind of both at different.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you had that self-awareness that you're like, I really am so much better than these people.
Well, it was funny because like in the homeschool group, I was like,
you're the cool kid.
I was like kind of the leader. And then one of them. And then when I would go to like, obviously club soccer, like, just different high school teams and stuff like that, and be in the high school space, I was kind of cool-ish. I don't know, but I was not in with anyone. I was on the outskirts for sure.
See, I feel like I did not know that growing up.
Yeah.
I understood you as being like just cool across the board, and I would not have known that you didn't feel like you fit in with soccer or whatever.
I mean, I was like the one kid on the team who was like homeschooled until club when you joined, and then we were the two kids who were homeschooled. So,
I probably didn't help much with your
You made that worse. No, just kidding. No, but it made it so different because I was so different. I was so different. I wasn't the way that they all were with everything too. I was also incredibly focused on soccer, and I was labeled as a try-hard.
Yeah.
And that was a big insult that would be thrown, like a big insult. Right. I really took and ran with it. I was like, yeah, I know. I try harder than all of you. I would say that.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, you're a try hard. Yeah, I am. Hello. Yes. But that definitely put me on the outside.
Right.
Because I was like, yeah, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
But I was also like respected to a degree, I guess. But
I think you have to when you're working that hard. Even I mean, like the only reason they make fun of you is because like that's an insecurity. Of theirs, Like, but you kind of got to respect the hustle.
Yeah, that's honestly a blast from the past. Like thinking about all that.
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time thinking.
No, probably for the best. A decade ago,
high school. Let me go back. Okay, why do you think we care so much about being understood in the first place?
Ooh. I really like this question. I was thinking about it. I think, one, it's a biological thing. Like, innately, we are wired for attachment, to be cared for, and to be understood. Like, being understood is part of being cared for.
Yeah.
When I don't feel understood by my husband or by my best friend, I don't feel fully cared for.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, that's innate. And I think, second, is that being misunderstood can feel like rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And we can take it so personally, which fair. When I've been misunderstood, I can take it really personally. It's not just like business rejection. It's like personal rejection of not feeling fully seen.
Yeah.
So it matters deeply because it's like biological and it's so personal.
Yeah. I'm very similar to you. And I'd like to respond like that. Mine was first, like, I think we were created by someone who created us / fully understands us to like the hair of our head.
Yeah.
And so we naturally have that knowing. We are known.
Yeah.
We are deeply, deeply known, but we don't really feel like we have that. And we don't have that here. So it's like that craving of like wanting that so badly because we know that like we do have that, but we don't like, we're not fully tapped into it. It's like, how do I have it here and like all these other things or in all these other places?
That makes so much sense.
And that to me, I was like, yeah, because I actually am known.
Yes.
I am understood, but it obviously cannot feel that way.
Well, it's true because like you said, it's tapping into that. It's like, do I believe that truth and identify with that I
feel
am
that?
fully known, or
Yes.
am I going to seek that out from other earthly people?
Yes.
Not from my God, from other people.
Yes, 100%.
Who will never fully know me the way that he does, but
Yes.
the way that I desire.
Yes.
That's such a good point.
Yeah,
I
that
really
was kind of
love that.
similar to what you're saying. And then my second was another, like what you were saying, but I was like, just primally survival. I think, and I think I've talked about this before, but just in like the tribal setting, being understood is very important.
Ooh,
And
expand on that.
if your motives and your intent, if it's not understood, then your life is threatened.
Wow.
Because if it's not clear your intent is to contribute and to be a part of this society, you get kicked out of the tribe and then you're going to try and fend for your life on your own and probably die. You probably wouldn't succeed without your tribe. And so I think that also comes into it.
It's like life or death.
It feels like life or death. Because sometimes I'm like, man, why did that feel so terrible those times that I was misunderstood?
Yeah.
Why did that feel like I was dying?
Right. Why do I so badly want to be
why do I want this
understood?
so bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's biological, what you're saying. And then also we were created by someone who made us. So we're like, I want to be understood. I want to know it. Yeah.
But where
Yeah.
do we search for that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's a hard thing. I think it's a really good thing to be aware of, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Be aware of that. And reading this and going through this, I was like, man, I used to be so desperate for that. So desperate and felt like incredibly misunderstood. And it was kind of cool being like, I don't really feel that way anymore.
When do you think like that shifted for you?
Yeah. I think probably more recently, probably in the last couple years. Obviously, I stopped continuing my career as an athlete.
Yeah.
And that took a huge life shift for me to no longer continue doing that. And so much of the reason I had been doing that is because I was afraid of the opinions of others. And I felt like people just wouldn't understand why I was leaving. Like, why are you leaving when you're doing well? Like, how do you explain that to someone who also wishes maybe that they had what you have and had that success and had that? And that's really hard to even break down to explain to someone.
Yeah.
And I was really afraid of that. I think once that happened, that was a huge shift. And then I left corporate and built my own business. I did all these things that no one's going to understand.
Yeah.
And people are not going to understand it. Like even starting the podcast, all these things that I felt like I just saw, people who were close to me, family members, not get it, not understand. It's not clocking. It's not clocking to you. Sorry, I just remember that's going around right now. I'm saying my business.
I have not seen that.
It's the Justin Bieber thing. It's like, anyways,
That's
side
hilarious.
tangent. Okay, all right.
It's not clocking.
Yeah.
And it was out of the blue.
It was really that though. I was like, I'm not doing what I'm doing. Most people cannot understand.
Yeah.
So am I gonna be okay with that or not? And if not, like, I'm not gonna be able to hang. And then finally I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
And then you realize what a burden it is to care, to want to be understood so badly.
Yeah.
And I also think I had enough. I got to, unfortunately, some really bad places in some relationships with my family where opinions of me were just like shot in a way that I could do nothing to change that. And it had to be fully like, wow, you really think this of me, will not listen to me. This hurts really bad. It was actually good almost. Because I was like, wow, literally can't do anything.
Wow.
Feeling that. And just, really harsh things that they like say. And it's like, okay, all right. That's not true.
Right.
So I can't let that pain me. anymore.
For
basically.
sure. And I like what you said about like you did so many things where you knew you wouldn't be understood that eventually it just like it doesn't even matter. But it's kind of like you have to do the things and know that it's not going to be understood. And eventually you do get to that point where you tune all the other voices out.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. That was a good follow up. You ready for the next?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Have you ever changed or held back to avoid being misunderstood?
I've definitely held back. And I would say my hot take is that holding back, I have a hot take, holding back can be prudent, I think. Like, I think changing for other people, obviously that's a no-no in every like 101 self-care, like don't change for other people.
Yeah.
As far as holding back, I do think there's prudence there.
Yep.
Like sometimes I don't need to go out of my way to explain myself to someone, explain what I'm doing, whatever it is. So I've definitely held back. Like I have my inner circle that I tell everything to, I value their opinions. And then for other people, it's like you said, I don't need to explain what I'm doing. Yeah. And I can almost safely assume, we don't want to assume, but I can almost safely assume that they won't understand. So I'm not going to waste my energy explaining. Does that make sense?
No,
like I
really
do feel like I err on the side oftentimes of just like, I can hold back.
Yeah, I think that's just having discernment.
Yeah.
I think that's wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's prudent. Yeah.
Yeah. To literally, especially when people have such strong opinions too. And if you're not in a really close relationship with someone where you can say to them, because I was thinking about this language. I know that I can say this to you and you could say this to me. You'll say something. I could say, can I challenge you on that? Mm-hmm. And you'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're not in that place in a relationship where someone would be like, what? Like, what? Yeah, no. And then they get fired up as soon as you try and give them a new perspective. You're like, all right, you're not going to hear this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's,
and it does take humility to be like, you can challenge me. That can be hard.
I think I had to learn to be a little bit more like that way. Because
I can see that.
I think I'd gotten burned from like opinions and people saying this. I was like, fine, I just am myself. This is who I am. Mm-hmm. And then I had to kind of learn like, well, delivery matters. And I believe that people's feelings matter. And so I was in certain circumstances acting as if I didn't care about other people's feelings. I was like, well, I'm doing me and that's up to you how you feel about what I'm doing. Yeah. It's like, if I could just be a little bit softer around a subject that maybe is tough for someone else, sure, I'm going to do it, Yeah,
and there's a time to explain, and then there's over-explaining. Like, there's definitely a middle ground for that, where you can take the time, take the extra 5 minutes to tell someone where you're coming from. And I think that you'll know if they're open to hearing your side of the story, if they're open to understanding you, because there's either communication or there's not.
Yeah. Either they're going to ask questions or they're not.
Yeah. Or there might be assumptions.
Yeah. And I think that's further down here. But like, that is a huge thing, is asking questions. And if someone is asking questions or not. And if someone is not going to ask a question about what it is that you're doing, they're only going to try and give you an opinion about what they're doing. They are not trying to understand you. Mm-hmm. They're just not.
Yeah.
And so you got to realize, I'd be like, I'm not, until they switch this and ask me questions and try and understand, I'm going to persuade them 0%.
Yeah.
They're obviously not looking for any new information.
Yep.
They've held on to one opinion and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's such great practical advice, is just like, hey, look out for people that are asking you questions to understand. Even if it's not like right off the bat, I totally track what you're saying. I track what you're doing. I understand you fully. If they are just trying to understand, if they are trying to ask questions, you have someone that's actually trying to be in your court.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a valuable thing, because it's pretty hard to come by. Okay. How do you deal with the fear of being misunderstood when you're growing or evolving?
Ooh.
I think for me, it's almost like a rip the Band-Aid thing off.
Yeah.
Because rip the Band-Aid thing off? Rip the Band-Aid off?
Rip the Band-Aid thing off? No, that makes sense. Yeah. I think that was right.
Anyways, because no matter what, people, whether you do the thing or you don't, they're going to judge you. Very likely that people are going to judge you. Yeah. Right? And it's really judgment. We're misunderstood, we're being judged, and we feel judged. So it's like, if you can just rip the Band-Aid off, And imagine the worst case scenario kind of thing. Imagine they all think the worst things about you. And when I do this with my students a lot, because I have students who are like this age, everyone, like high school, they're afraid of what everyone thinks and all the things. So I talk to them a lot about this. They're afraid of the opinions of others. And I'm like, I'm like, who is they? You you feel like it's all these people. I said, I need names. Tell me who it is. And they're like, and they like can't, they come up with like a couple people, maybe.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, all right. So Sally, Joe, and Eric Dweeb, like these people. Let's imagine they think you're a loser, dumb face who sucks at soccer. Let's just imagine that. Okay, all right, they think that. Can you live with that? Does that affect you? Mm-hmm. Does that change anything about what's happening right now? I literally go there. They're like shocked, usually like no one, people don't talk to them that way.
Right.
I'm like, does that change anything for you right now? Now, okay, what should you do then? Probably just get better at soccer, focus on yeah, okay, gosh, just do your thing.
It's so simple.
It's so simple. And so when I feel that way, I'm like, who's they? I'll do that. I break it down to the exact people.
Yeah.
And then I just pretend as if they did think that thing. I'm like, oh, yep, I can. All right, moving on.
I love that.
So that one works very well for me.
I think similar vein to that, it's just like, who have I given the power of opinion to? Mm-hmm. In my circle, I was listening to Dan Martell talk about this, and he was like, you give people the power of opinion over you. So whose opinion do I value? Like, I value yours. I value my husband's. Like, your opinion matters to me, and I take that into consideration.
Yeah, same.
But then everyone outside of that, like Sally, Joe, and Eric, like, their opinion doesn't matter. Like, they are outside of my inner circle. So it's really like, all right, let me listen to the opinions that I have chosen to give power to, and then let me recognize the opinions that I'm afraid of. And typically it's outside of my inner circle. And I need to recognize that those opinions don't have power.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And when you're giving someone power like that, like, what do you find internally? Like, where is that coming from that you're like giving them the power of your opinion or of caring about their opinion?
I think the people I give power of opinion to are the people that I trust, right? And it's like, we need those people. Like, we need those mentors.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's who I'm giving that power to. Yeah. Is that what you're asking?
No, I was saying when it's not that. When you're saying, like, when you look at it, you're like, oh, wait, no, this person doesn't matter because they're out of my circle. Or is that just, you've never really done that, so you're like, I'm chilling. That's what I was saying. Like, what is that when? Because, so you have your circle. Yeah. But if there is someone random, right? How do you know? Like, what puts you in the checker? Like, dude, why am I doing this? This is my people. Like, what's your process?
No,
there?
I get that.
Yeah.
I think most times I'm worried about people outside of my circle. Almost every time I am like fearful of people misunderstanding me. Like, I was thinking about the podcast the other day and people watching the podcast. And I'm like never worried about my inner circle watching the podcast. Yeah. I'm always thinking about people outside of my circle and like, oh, they're going to judge me or they're going to think this. And then I was like really actually delving into it. And I was like, it's never my inner circle that I'm worried about.
Yes. I also find a lot of time that it's not the inner, but it's not the randos. It's like just the outside.
That's so true.
It's like the in between.
Yeah, it's like I know them somehow, but like
I knew them from something 12 years ago, and they're gonna see this. And I've heard so many people make excuses for not doing content or things like that because they're like, oh, I just have a bunch of people from high school on my Instagram. I'm like, how old are you right now? 25. What? What? Yeah. And it's a thing. Yeah. It's like, it's not the people you know. It's the people you kind of know. And it's not the people you don't know.
It's true. And I wonder if that's also partly because, like you said, it's people like from high school. Is that fear coming from the fact that they knew you as a very different person? Like you were one person in high school and now you're this different person?
It's probably multiple things. I think that's a huge piece of that.
Because I feel like I hear that all the time.
Yes. I'm like, why? I try and lean into that. And I actually had once I left MTSU and stopped playing, all those old teammates, coach and everything, I was like, I don't want to connect with them on Instagram. I don't want them to see. I'm like, I don't care. Like, why? Like, it's very interesting to watch that. Mm-hmm. But it's like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, dude, I need to let that go.
But just on the outskirts, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally where I have like all of my fears.
Yes. It's the most annoying thing too, because
Yeah.
they probably feel that about you.
It's so silly.
It's so
Yeah.
silly. Yeah. Yeah. But I honestly talk about this a lot with my students.
Yeah.
Because
that
I
makes
see
sense.
the high school age, there's so much of that.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah, of course,
It's
you
a
wanna
tough
fit
age.
in.
It's a tough age. I love you guys. Keep going. Okay. Why do you think being misunderstood is sometimes necessary when you're stepping into something new? Why?
Yeah, I feel like you just talked about
Yeah,
that.
literally.
You're like, every single new thing you've done, like you have to expect to not be understood. With the
Yeah.
podcast, like we have to expect to not be understood. And if like we only chose to do things where we felt like we would be fully understood by everyone,
You
like,
live the most mediocre life ever.
it'd be so boring.
And they will judge you anyways.
Yeah, I would also feel like you'd be so confined and you'd like so worried about like what do
Yeah.
I choose that won't have any repercussions
Yeah.
or any judgments.
Which is impossible and is also a very cowardly way to live.
Yeah,
Because
how
it's-
unfulfilling.
It's very unfulfilling. Yeah, because it's not true to anything.
No,
It's not.
and
yeah.
it's not true to you. Like
It's
you're
definitely not
literally
true
not
to yourself.
respecting yourself at all.
Yeah, it's hard to have an ounce of self-trust when you do that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to just wave like with whatever everyone else. And something I was actually thinking about you the other day that I really like is sometimes I'll be like, Mitchell and I will say something like, oh, we really like that or something. And you'll be like, really? I don't. I really respect that about you.
Oh wow.
Because you're like, no, I don't. I didn't think that at all. I'm like, oh, really? Why? You know? And then we can have a conversation about it. But I think the majority of people want to just agree and be like, oh yeah, I'm in with you too. Like I agree too.
Yeah.
But I've actually noticed that about you.
Oh wow.
That you'll just be like, no, I really? Like,
I'm like, I didn't know that about myself. I
Yeah.
feel like typically I try to agree with people, but I also think that says something about like being comfortable being able to have different opinions
yes.
with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely feel comfortable voicing
Yeah.
a different
I feel like
opinion.
something recently you were like, really? I did not. I just like remember you saying that. Like you
That's
didn't like
so
it or
funny.
something like that.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
even with like the pasta thing, you're like, it was good. It wasn't great. In my
I
mind, I'm like, it's so good. I respect that.
Yeah.
Because then I know you're actually going to always tell me the truth.
Be honest. Yeah.
You're actually locked in on something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not
that's
like,
important.
ooh, I don't respect you because you don't like the same kind of pasta.
Right. No, and Matthew has talked about that too, because I do tend to be more of like a people pleaser, like just want to get along. But he's talked about how much he appreciates like me voicing different opinions. Like,
Yeah, you really do.
You
I hear- yeah.
truly don't want someone who's just like a yes man, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
who agrees with everything that you
Yeah.
say.
You're like, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you think that.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
I really do. I was thinking about it randomly while I was driving the other day. I was like, Maggie. Oh, I love that about her.
never
Do you
agrees
have
with
those
me.
thoughts like that? I'll think about, and then I will picture like 3 times. I will like actually think about it, and now I can't remember any of them. But I had like these times. I'm like, yep, she said it there, she said it there, she said it there. The only one I could
That's
think of
so
was pasta.
funny.
But
That's cute.
you crush it. Okay. How do you know the difference between people who are confused and people who are controlling? Did you understand that one? At first I was confused, but then I was like, all right, no, I get it.
At first I was confused and then it was controlled. Okay. I don't know. I wasn't sure the context.
Yeah. So basically when someone, I think this is more for, this makes more sense when it's like parents or someone funding something or someone usually who has an authority influence over you.
Okay.
Not necessarily that they have authority over you, but they have that like pull. And, you know, like it's a thing for certain people, like, oh, really? You're not going to do college. You're going to start your own business. You're going to
Gotcha.
whatever. And it comes back to, for me, is the curiosity.
Yep.
Are they curious or not?
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not curious, they're probably just fearful and it's coming out because they're afraid you're going to fail. And so now they're going to try and control you to get you to not do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I broke it down because I was thinking in my own circumstances. I've had that with coaches too.
Yeah.
Coaches who have been like, you know, seem kind of controlling or whatever. And I'm like, you didn't ask me any questions. Like,
To understand you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking in the context of understanding that exact same thing. Are they asking questions?
Yeah.
Is there a back and forth dialogue? And are they making assumptions or are
Yeah.
they actually listening to the information that I'm giving them
Yeah.
to understand me?
yeah. And thinking about that, dude, has been such a good reminder for me because I'm like, I obviously love to coach and teach and like do all the things. So I love when someone asks me a question, I'm like, okay, here's what we got to do. And it's been something that I've worked on off and on. I'm like, I got to relock this in, is to ask follow-up questions with their question.
Yeah.
And because that's when you really learn what the problem is or what it is that they're trying to achieve. And sometimes they'll ask a question, and if I just go and like try and give an answer, then I realize that's not what they actually want. I mean, you'd be like, okay, you ask your question, where do you want to go? Why is that? When did you want that? When did that change? You know, and then you actually can usually solve the problem just by asking questions versus coaching or saying anything.
I think you're so good at that. And you gave the example earlier of asking your students, like, what is the worst case scenario? What are you picturing? Like all of those follow-up questions. And then you get to the root that's so simple, but it's all those questions that go into it. It's not really even like, I have this, like all these great stats and advice. It's just like, ask the questions.
Dude, it's so helpful. Because I think I told you about it. I remember when I discovered it probably like 6 years ago, just the 7 whys. And that I
remember you talking about that
all the time. I did it with a student last week. We didn't even really have a session. All we did was like get to the root of her own insecurity just by asking questions that we got to. I'm like, oh, wow. And usually it's pretty revealing. It's sad sometimes when you get to the root of it, and it's usually like an internal abandonment or self-sabotage is what I realize. And you just ask her like, wow, that probably sucks. They're like, yeah. I'm like, do you want to change that? They're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just ask questions.
So the 7 whys, are they different questions you're asking, or is just consecutive why after why after why?
Yes. Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would do that for myself. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling insecure about these past teammates. Why? Because I feel weird about it. They used to know me. And then sometimes someone will do an answer like that, and you're like, but why does that feel weird? And then you just go to the next thing. Well, because I wasn't, and then you go to the root, and usually it's always connected to self-abandonment.
Wow.
You have self-abandoned, and this is why you care so much, and this is why this is a problem. If you didn't self-abandon, you had your own back, this would be irrelevant to you.
Wow.
And it's kind of like the flip of the misunderstanding. All of that is usually solved when you actually back yourself up.
That makes so much sense.
Because you're like,
yeah,
I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I have my own back. I don't need you to have my back, basically.
Yeah. I need to remember the 7 whys. That's so good.
And writing it out.
Ooh.
Talk about that later. Okay, all right. Okay, what would you say to someone who's stuck because they're scared of what others will think?
Ooh, I love that. I think it does go back to like, who actually do you value their opinion? Like, who in your circle has that power of opinion? Who do you care about? And then everyone else, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, because the people that are in your circle should be the people who really truly want you to succeed.
Yeah.
They got to be the people who are like, if you win, I literally feel like I'm winning.
Yeah.
That is like what I think like friendship is, like a good, healthy friendship is both focused on growth. And if it's focused that way, like I legitimately do feel like if you win, I win. And I believe you probably feel the same. Like 100%. I literally feel that way.
Yeah.
And I think that is also very rare. It's really, really rare. But if you get to that place of, being like, wait, I got to check who's in my circle, because do I actually feel like this person wants me to win, or is this person just desperately trying to protect me?
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's where you can get confused.
Yeah.
Is because that's what I realized when I took all these leaps with the business and everything. It wasn't that certain family members or people in my life didn't want me to win. They were just so afraid I was going to lose.
Wow.
And they didn't want me to lose.
Yeah.
And I remind people, oftentimes, your parents, your people, your mentors don't want you to succeed beyond your wildest freaking dreams. They just want you to do good so they don't have to worry about you.
Wow.
And that's a tough reality, but that is the reality. And it really does not come from a bad place.
I was going to say,
it is not a bad thing.
It's not a negative thing.
Yes. And so I was like, yeah, this isn't even them not wanting me to win,
right.
them trying to hold me back.
It's not malicious.
No, it's not malicious at all. They are just afraid I'm going to lose. They're afraid I'm going to lose.
Wow.
And those people, you have to get out of that circle.
Because even though it's not malicious, it still holds you back.
It will still hold you back.
Wow.
Because they're going to over and over again tell you to play it safe.
Yeah.
To play small. That's a little too risky. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid.
Yeah, I agree. I also think like remembering, and we've talked about this, your why behind what you're doing. And
yes,
like
1000%.
I even thought about that recently, like the past week or so. I was just like, man, I feel like so unqualified to do what I'm doing. Like just had a lot of self-doubt. Also thinking about like people are probably judging me, like all of these thoughts. And it's like, all the things. It's like, oh, those opinions don't matter. But it's like I still struggle with it.
Yeah.
And I was like talking all of it out and I was praying about it. And I just felt God go like, with what you're doing, when you talk about me, if you even lead one person to me, it will all be worth it. And I was like, that's my why.
I had like the same conversation 2 days ago with God.
I was in my car driving and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, it's all you need.
But it's you need your why.
Yes.
You need that grounding. I needed that.
Connect
and
to your
once
why.
I had that, I was like, okay, I'm good. I can do whatever I need to do.
I can literally do anything because then it's not all about you.
Yeah.
It's very hard when it's all about you.
Yep.
That's when you feel
100%.
misunderstood by everyone. No one gets me.
Exactly.
Okay. Last question, or 2 more questions. Can you think of a time when you misunderstood someone else and how that shifted over time?
Ooh.
I think for me, it's just, again, lack of questions
Yeah.
and lack of vulnerability. Mm-hmm. You have to ask questions and you have to both be vulnerable. And usually when you're doing that, you're not really going to misunderstand someone. But it's
really
been
true.
times when I've not asked questions and made assumptions
Yeah.
about someone.
Yeah.
That's always like, ooh, that feels terrible. You're like, wow.
Like I should not.
That was terrible. That I can't think of a specific time. I know I've done it and been like, oh, that is just,
Yeah.
that does not feel like a good
It's
thing.
true. Yeah.
It's really crappy.
I think on a like smaller, more day-to-day scale, it's really easy for me to misunderstand people via text because there's not tone there. Like there's no nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
It's just like there's no tone. So I
Tonality's everything.
can very
Yeah.
quickly take things personally.
Okay.
And I've really I've worked on that a lot. And so even now, like if I receive a text and I'm like, oh my gosh, are they mad at me?
I still do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I try really hard not to put that on the other person. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on right now because
Don't ever do that with me because sometimes I'm going into a session, I'll just voice text and they'll look at it afterwards and be like, "Oh, sorry." Like,
I'm like
100%.
But exactly,
I know
you
if I'm
don't know.
rushed.
You get a 2-line text, and it's just like then I start assuming all of these things.
Yeah.
And it's so silly. But I think like that's one, and I in
That's
the past
very true.
have put that on other people and been like, are you mad at me? Like, is everything okay? Like, are you going through something? And now I just make sure to like hold back and go like, if something needs to be addressed, like that person will come to me.
Yes.
So like
That's
on a
so
smaller scale, I feel like that's something that I still try to be very aware of, just not making any assumptions without enough information.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like on a practical level.
I need a I try to be good with but if I have a busy day, I'm so grateful that Mitchell makes no assumptions about what's going on because I'll just be like, he'll be like, hi, love you. So like a nice message, be like, how's the day? I'm like, good, been busy, love you. Like in out. I'm like, I got 95 calls. Like I'm in and out.
Do it. Yeah.
And he's unaffected. Like,
nice.
You know, he's like, okay, totally fine. Like, you know, because when I'm gonna get the time, I'm going to be able to actually,
of course,
connect.
Yeah. And he doesn't take it personally.
Yeah. That's a really good thing to remember.
It also makes me aware of like texting other people when I can. And just even if I'm like a little bit irritated or whatever, not putting that into text. And like, I always put an exclamation point or like, I
feel like we both pretty much always do that with each other. Yeah. Try to.
And then if there's not one, I'm like,
I know. No, yesterday because I
on?
went into a session, they came out and I was like, I gotta send her a voice message after this because I didn't want it to seem like anything.
No, it's totally fine.
Yeah. No, I do feel like we try to always add little
100%.
saying
it
something,
makes a difference.
Saying something without an exclamation point, a period, or with an exclamation point is very different over text. Like, see you soon, period, see you soon. see you soon, like exclamation point. Like that
It's
is
so
completely
true.
different.
Or all good, no exclamation point versus all good.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just,
huge.
like, it's different.
It
It's
is
so
huge.
different.
Also, I realized like guys are way less with those things.
It's true,
Girls,
yeah.
we have a whole other secret language on that.
100%.
Because like men in business, when they text me, it is the most flat thing you've ever read in your life. Okay, period.
That's
see you
so
then.
funny.
Like, period. K, period. Like, all, it's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
And I'm
Actually,
like, K, right back, period. No, I'm just kidding.
like, I hate you.
Just send them poop
Message
back.
received.
Yeah, they're like,
Loud and clear.
they're like, okay.
I'm deleting you.
And then I can see them in person. They'll be like, what's up, Izzy? Like, how's it going? I'm like, it took me a while to learn that.
Actually, the guys at the organization that I work for are great communicators. They're always like, top of the morning to you. Like, hope your Wednesday's going amazing.
They work with a bunch
like,
of women though, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of
that's
women,
awesome.
but I love it though. I
No,
love their
that's amazing.
communication
Yes.
style. Matthew's also really good at exclamation points.
Mitchell
and
is
stuff,
too.
which
Mitchell
I really
is-
appreciate.
yeah.
I feel like he's also gotten even better over time.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's seen how I communicate. So
Yeah.
it's
It rubbed
helpful.
off. Okay,
Yeah.
final pregunta. Okay, if you could go back and tell your younger self one thing about being misunderstood, what would it be?
Ooh,
I have a very good one
go.
for this, and I kind of touched on this, but it is when I put in context of the times that I felt so misunderstood with like friend groups and them thinking I was mean or like just whatever, all the things. It usually has a major root of self-abandonment. And so I would say all you need is for you and God to understand you. And that is it. If you can spend time with God and God understands you and you know he does that, you're fine. That is the only actual opinion that matters. That is it. So just focus on God and him understanding you and you understanding yourself and then supporting yourself. If I could have learned that younger and done the work to like really internalize that, I would have saved myself so much pain from being misunderstood by family, by group, by friend groups, all the things.
Yeah.
Because really what it was coming down to was I was afraid that the misunderstanding that they had about me was true. And that's the only reason
Wow.
it bothered me.
Yeah.
It's because I was afraid it was true. So maybe, and in that judgment, that I was actually judging myself on that.
Yeah. It all came back to you.
It all came back to me. And once I was able to let that go and realize that's actually not true. I know that. Why am I judging myself in this? Like I got to do all the, clean that out, realize that I'm good. It's like you're unfazed.
Yeah.
But if anytime I'm bothered about like an opinion of someone or someone misunderstanding me, it's because I haven't sorted it out internally.
Wow.
And now that I know that, that has saved me so much time and pain and like so much.
That's amazing.
So that's little Izzy. Yeah. And going back to like, I still will have moments where I'll literally go back to those times and just support myself and heal that, because that's the only real way that I can move on from it. Too.
Yeah,
So I'll
that
just be
makes
like,
so
hey,
much
I got
sense.
you. I understand what's going on here. What you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You're good. We got you. Let's move on.
I love that. I
So.
completely agree. And on a similar note to that, it's just like going back to my younger self and going, you will find your people that understand you.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what you're doing by going back to your younger self. It's like, hey, I understand you. But also, God will send you the people that are meant to understand you too.
Yeah.
Like you will be sent those people. And I
Yeah.
think that is such an encouraging message. If you don't feel understood right now, know that you have a God that fully understands you, and know that at the right time in the right place, he will send you those people too.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, it's really sweet because I think it is a really painful thing. It's a very painful thing. It can be really hard to feel that way and feel like no one gets me. Like, yeah, that's painful. But I don't have to think ever about you understanding me.
Yeah, you know your husband understands
Yeah,
you. You
yeah.
have your people.
Yeah. No, that was awesome.
Beautiful.
That's a wrap, B.
Amazing.
Cut. Our high five. Yeah. Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I would greatly appreciate if you could share this episode with 5 people you think could benefit from the show. Also, please feel free to connect with me on Instagram at Izzy Chinche or my website at izzychinche.com. Thank you so much for being you. Keep being a leader and making this world a better place.